Hello and welcome back to another edition of Memescape News, the best source of information on the current happenings in the Memescape. I'm your host Evan, and this is a very special episode, because this is the 100th episode. That's right, I've been doing this series for nearly 2 years now. I started in September of 2018, and now we are getting towards the end of August 2020 and entering September of 2020. So I've been doing this for nearly 2 years. And in that time, I've got to say that the format has not changed all that much. When I originally started this show, I hoped that I would make it a more format-based show, and we would have things like debates on future memes, and I'd have guests and that sort of thing, and it would become a longer form show. But that kind of thing hasn't really happened yet. And I'd like for that to be the case in the future, but we need to see where things go. And in keeping with this tradition, I'm going to continue to make this show what it has been, how it's been for the past 2 years. I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing right now, because I think it's simple and I think it's not too difficult for me to make, while it still gives me a creative outlet and gives you something to watch. But in the future, that is something that I'd like to consider. I want to get some more interesting stuff going on in Memescape, and maybe some more people will care, because right now I get 12 views a video, you know? So anyway, let's get right into this special 100th episode edition with some current events. We have plenty to talk about this week in terms of current events, and we're starting right with the Netflix cuties controversy. So, Netflix was Netflix hosts lots of different documentaries and movies and TV shows, of course you know that. There was this one called Cuties, and I don't know a whole lot about this because I'm a terrible reporter, and you should know that by now, but from what I do know, is that it's about a bunch of young tween girls, 11 years old, 12 years old, who are all trying to find themselves and become comfortable with their sexuality. From what I've heard anyway, I read an article about it about a week ago. Obviously, I don't need to tell you how that is most certainly problematic and definitely pedophilic, not to mention the fact that there are twerking scenes. No. Yikes! Of course, people made loads of memes about this. I'm putting a few up on the screen. Yikes. That's all I have to say. Let's move on. To possibly one of the most shocking events that took place in the Memescape this week, and possibly the month, is the fact that Leafy's channel got terminated. Now, I haven't dug very deep into this, but from what I understand, it has to do with his consistent criticism against the streamer Pokimane, and I never watched any of those videos, so I don't know exactly what he was criticizing her about, but I think that's besides the point, because this is most definitely censorship. And again, you know, this isn't strictly a meme-related thing, but it is part of the greater Memescape, as Leafy has had a major influence on a lot of meme culture, with the whole vaporwave and commentary movements and that sort of thing. And also, you know, whenever there's drama on YouTube, there's a good chance Leafy's going to be involved in some way or another, because that's the type of folk he is. But it doesn't look like he's coming back. And he's moving on to Storyfire, which is that new YouTube competitor that McJuggernuggets made. I think McJuggernuggets started that. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back to YouTube, so this has to start a serious conversation about censorship on the platform. You know, I've never enjoyed Leafy personally, but I think that it's unacceptable that we're taking his voice away. Yeah, not great. Another thing that I want to talk about is the battle on r/animemes. Dun dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da da da. So basically, this happened about a month ago, but I'm finally deciding to cover this now. Partially because I wasn't sure how to cover it earlier. Partially, I wasn't sure whether I even should cover it. Partially because I kind of wanted to save it for this special 100th edition. But I think it's more important than ever that I discuss it now. So basically, the moderators of r/animemes banned the word trap, and they did it under the pretext that it is a slur against trans people, and I personally agree with this. You know, I definitely find the word to be offensive and distasteful and probably shouldn't be touched. However, a lot of the moderators got a lot of backlash when they refused to take criticism for the move, as a lot of the people on that subreddit had gotten very used to it. So again, it's a story of censorship. What's very interesting, though, is that the backlash against the moderators continued to grow and grow and grow, and eventually they created a brand new subreddit, the Rebellion, quote unquote. And I can't remember what it's called. Is it called New Animemes, Better Animemes, something along those lines? Animemes New, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's another example of, you know, times are changing. Some people are uncomfortable with what's considered good, what's considered okay, and what's not considered okay. It's a question of political correctness, and whether that's a good thing, whether that's a bad thing, whether what you're doing is offensive, or whether it's not that big of a deal. These are all conversations that society needs to keep having, and it's good that we are. You know, whatever the outcomes are, I think ultimately, when it comes to societal progress, there really is only one way. And finally, in terms of current events, we had a lot to talk about. Fall Guys. I'm sure you've heard about this game, and I have it too, and I actually originally wanted to just watch a few videos of it to try to figure out and get a better idea for the game, and I ended up watching like 45 minutes of just compilations because this game is just so fun to watch. So basically, it's very simple, it's colorful, nothing needed to know about it other than the base level. You're placed with a game, maybe 45, 60 other people, and there's a few different mini games, and such as jumping over things, like complicated tag kind of games, but the most popular one, from what I understand, is everybody has to get to the end of a course, and whoever makes it to the end first, there's several rounds, and every time a fewer and fewer amount of people are allowed to get to the end, and then whoever gets to the end first, you know, the winner. It's a race. It's fun. Yeah, and this has affected meme culture. There's been a few memes about it.
I know we couldn't Skype tonight, but that's alright. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
Let's get into that meme economy. The meme economy is definitely up because we have had so many new types of memes and new types of things to talk about, and again, of course I've mentioned in the past that I'm not sure how I feel about tying the strength of the meme economy to just the number of new formats, but that's something I still need to gauge and need to think about. So yeah, in the future I'd like to have more people to consult about that. That's part of my future vision for Memescape News. But that's not happened yet, and I don't know when it will or if it ever will. So you gotta bear with me. You know I don't have the greatest quality. So one of the memes I want to talk about this week is me with a time machine. And so it's basically the idea that like some people would just go back in time and like say hello to their relatives, but this person will I don't know, like tell their past self like the toaster's gonna explode or something. I'm grabbing at straws here. You see them in the corner. They're a lot funnier than what I just came off with off the top of my head because it is very, very late. I am very, very tired and my brain is not working too well. But these are very funny. I recommend you invest because they are easy to make, relatable, and they rely on things that everybody gets. Another meme that has taken a lot of attention this week is the American Cup song, and I'm sure you guys all remember the Cup song originally from like 2014, 2015, 2016. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I'm sure you all remember it. and like, you know, if you were able to do it, you were like the coolest kid in the cafeteria. So a video recently went viral of a guy doing the same thing, but with a gun. And so now, people have basically taken that last hit and put it into 10 million different things. I even made one. I'll put it up in a card over there. Those are funny. They're very easy to make because you just have to time up the last clip. You could probably even do that in like iMovie on your phone if you want. It's easy. Invest. I think these are pretty easy to make, you know, this is a real YouTube-centric meme. I got into a wormhole a couple nights ago where I just started clicking on one after another, and I just kept watching them until I had watched like 30, just because they're 5 seconds long and just like they're entertaining, and then you see another and you're suggested, it's like, ooh! And then like I was seeing some of these videos, it was uploaded 6 hours ago from a channel with like 300 subscribers, and it has 600,000 views. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is blowing up. And so, you know, that was like the real explosive period. I'm not sure if that's still going on, but definitely take a look at these. Yeah, there's also a whole tie-in with the Henry Stickmin memes that were from last week. Some people were using those as punchlines, but millions of people were using tons of different stuff. So invest, invest, invest. You might get some good views, you're gonna get a couple chuckles out of people. It's easy, it's fun. And the last meme that I want to talk about this week is Big Floppa. And basically, Big Floppa is like, it's very obviously a knockoff of Big Chungus. And what's interesting about it is that it's it kind of is like a derivative of you're familiar with like the council memes, like Miguel and like all those other weird animals staring at the camera. It's kind of like the same thing with those demotivationals and the irony, but the weird semi-mainstream appeal. It's the same thing, and it is very forced. This is a meme you should probably ignore because it is not very good. But I can't stop you if you want to make one of these, whatever. I don't think it's funny though. It's so overdone. And finally this. That's about it for this edition of Memescape News. Thank you so much for sticking around with me for so long, and I hope that we'll have another 2 years together, and I hope we'll have another 200 episodes together, and it will be great. Did I miss anything or say something inaccurate in this video? Let me know right down there, and I will mention it next time. See you guys and gents later.